Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
All right, you're listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton's right choice, and welcome to The Life. It's been a long week, but we're back. We're back. All of us are back. I'm here. Jason's here. He made it.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I was kind of wondering if I was going to make it. There's a little bit of a traffic jam on the highway. And, of course, I think that I'm going to be smart and get away from it, take the next off-ramp I can. And as soon as I hit the off-ramp, I see that the accident happened right about the off-ramp, and I need to get back on the highway.
I think that's the way it usually works. That's how it happens for me. Every lane I go into is the one that's going slow at that moment.
Yeah, I left about 5 o'clock, and I had plenty of time to get here if it wasn't for that accident. So,
see, the bad thing is if they're still sitting out there, they may actually be listening. So
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would too, because that way.
I did throw out business cards on my drive by.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Hey, listen.
while you're putting that car on the wrecker.
Yep, there you go. So what's been new? I know you have some things you're not going to announce yet.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you, because that's special stuff. You got to save that and really make people wait to hear that kind of news. So, but what else has been going on that you are allowed to talk about?
Well, the show's finally back. Had a week off, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Things just kind of happened. But even though there wasn't a show out, I've been working really hard on making the show better. So, like you said, there's a lot of things I can't announce yet, but a lot of good stuff coming up. I want to tell everybody, we did have an episode with Mama Kate out on Monday. Make sure you check that out. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and eventually I'm going to bug him enough to put up last week's episode of The Life for people that missed it, because Adrienne Miller, phenomenal guest. She was absolutely wonderful in here, hilarious. But
she might not come back, though.
She might not come. Yeah,
she's got a new job.
That is true. So you did listen.
Yeah.
You did listen. Yes, she got a new job. What was it? It was shooting M&Ms at ferrets.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. But anyway, it's been a good week. This is a show full of winners tonight. I don't know if you read my Facebook post. This is a show full of winners. We have Doug Morgan coming up, who won this year's Wiley's 4th of July comedy contest. So we have that winner. We have Nate Washington following him up, who ran the contest this year, but he's also a winner from a few years back. And Saturday night at Murray's Pub and Grub, I was among the top two. So next month, August 20th, mark your calendars, August 20th at Murray's Pub and Grub, I'm going to be co-headlining with a half-hour set. And I'm terrified, because a half hour is a long time to be on stage if something goes wrong.
I heard it's a good place for comedy, though.
It was fantastic. It was a great crowd in there for, of course, bar shows can be bar shows, but this was a really good crowd in there.
I heard it's a whole different vibe there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, people come in there for the comedy. I mean, there's always a little bit of background chatter, but in a bar, you'll have that.
Even at a comedy club, really, depending on how far back you are.
Yeah, there you go. But no, a really good show and a really good place for comedy. Mike Morris does a great show there. So, and next month he's going to have John Morris hosting, so he can be in the competition as well. I think Mike's tired of sitting back and letting everybody else have the fun of competing for laughs, and now he's going to get in and try it. So. That'll be a good show, and hopefully it continues to be a good show when I go and do my half hour. And
who else won?
Chris Karwoski.
Okay,
I believe it was Karwoski,
something like that.
Something like that. Hilarious. He was hands down better than me, but Chris Karwoski definitely had it hands down as the number one spot. So, and I'm good with that because he nailed it. But anyway, we got a show full of winners coming up. And Jason, have you won anything lately? Maybe you should play the lottery tonight. That way,
I'm doing pretty good. But all that'll be talked about next Friday.
That's true. That's true. I consider some of that a win. So most of it actually. So we're going to take a little break, and we will be back here shortly with Doug Morgan.
What the heck is that?
Who puts broccoli on pizza?
That's it. I'm done.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians, and now you.
Don't let your music go the way of broccoli pizza. Stay tuned to WWSU 106.9, Fairborn, Dayton, the Un-Broccoli Pizza.
All right. Again, I like playing that last intro because it always cuts off right at the pizza. So it's the Un-Broccoli Pete. That's what. So we're back on the life. I'm your host, Don Smith, still here with Jason Marshall, my co-host, and our first guest is in the studio. I'm not going to lie. Both of our guests are in the studio, but we're just going to have one sit back and be quiet.
You don't have to. You can holler.
Now, Doug is as I said, this is a show full of winners. Doug is the winner of the Wiley's comedy competition this year, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. It was great. I've gotten so many emails.
Yeah, did you ever do an acceptance speech like the Oscars or something?
I did, and I was so in shock that I won. I was just like, "Where's my money?" Nate was like, read the face, like, "Doug Morgan, what?"
Yeah, I was seeing on social media there are a lot of people shocked that you won.
I know it. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. None more than my girlfriend and my son. But none more happier than them too, because they got paid.
Money. Yeah, there you go. Now, you are recently a father.
Yes.
Is that a father again, or
a father for the first time?
For the first time.
Never thought it was going to happen. I'm 42. I cashed those chips in long ago and thought they were cashed in for me because of just when you get older, I mean, things quit work. I mean, it works, but what's inside it is what produces the child. And
yeah, clearly
that juice is still pumping.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I mean, for those that know you, they've seen, like 50 million pictures.
I haven't posted many pictures. Come on. One every 7 minutes is not that much.
It's all good.
In between videos. He is, man.
But fatherhood seems to have done you good.
It has. It honestly has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. I cannot deny that. So I'm happy, man. I'm as happy as can be.
Has that added to your material?
Not yet, not on stage yet, but obviously I have some ideas and I've been writing a little bit, and there's obviously things that happen, but I haven't really taken it to the stage. I haven't had, a lot of opportunity. I'm not going to bring that to the stage at a competition, whenever it's not polished. Basically, this is the first time that I've ever done a competition where I've said, you know what, I'm going to do my 3 best bits that are 5 minutes. I'm going to polish, I'm going to hone that in and just do them. And, it benefited me. It was the best decision I made. Usually I go into a contest, I'm like, I'm going to throw this in, this hammer. It's brand new, but I know it's going to nail them, and it never does. So I haven't even made the finals in the past 5 years at the Wiley's competition. So I had a guy tell me, he's like, well, you're supposed to be one of the guys headlining. You got no. You're on the same level as me. I ain't been in the finals, placed, anything. So I'm no better than anybody else until now. What's up, everybody? Just kidding, still not. Ain't got no work from it yet. So
you'll get more material once they start talking.
Oh yeah, I can't wait, buddy. I'm excited. And my girlfriend has 2 3-year-old twins too, so I've kind of already, they'll be 3 in August. So I've kind of already been around them enough to see some things that's going to happen, and I love them. They're great.
Practice for
him. Just got my own little family now. It's pretty cool.
So how's what's the name of your thrift store?
The Second Shelf.
The Second Shelf. How's that going there? Because I know that provides a lot of your material.
It does. It's going well. It's a nonprofit. Of course, you can look at my life and see that that's true. But it's a charitable store. I took it over. It wasn't something that I started.
Your comedy career is a nonprofit.
Exactly. My life is a nonprofit to the strongest degree. Our charity goes to help and benefit the community and also individuals with developmental disabilities. That was what it was based on when it first started out, like 45 years ago. And then I took over like 4 years ago, and we still continue that mission. And then, obviously I get to see a lot of funny stuff go on while I'm down there. A cop just came in the other day. She's like, you here every day? I'm like, most of the day. I'm like, what did we do now? Did we do something? Like, we having stuff out on the side? Because we have sidewalk sales. She was like, do you ever see a guy in that window up there masturbating. I'm like, across the street, she's pointing to an apartment. I'm like,
You said, no, I haven't been over there.
no.
in
I was
weeks.
like, yeah, not until I get up there, right? But apparently, there's a man that like is catty corner for the last like 5 years that has been like exposing himself to this part of the neighborhood and masturbating. I don't know. Is this clean enough for the radio? I said it the right way.
Well, you wipe up afterward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But see, I was like, well, I've never seen it, but I was like, should I like record it if I do? Because they can't bust him. They know it's a guy that lives there, but the cops can't bust him unless somebody's willing to go down, like to testify against him. So like everybody in the neighborhood that sees it is willing to complain, but it's not bothersome enough to them to have to go downtown and be like, yes, that's the dude jerking it in the window. So now she wants me to keep an eye out for like, I'm like, oh, great.
So it's just kind of a nuisance jerk. It's
It's not like he's not really hurting anybody.
You're going to go out of your way to bring attention to it.
And it's on the east side of Dayton. Like it's like that's supposed to be going on. Isn't there?
Yeah, that's like...
Is it one of those things where now that somebody's brought your attention to it,
I'm out there every day. I got a camera set up. I can't wait to be the one to catch him. Then I'm going to be like I told her, I was like, what if my girlfriend sees my phone and sees me have this video and I haven't even told her yet? I told the cop that, and I'm like, first off, when she told me that he was mad, I was like dying laughing, and she's just like very serious. I'm like, I'm sorry, I am a very immature person. But it's funny that this whole time over my shoulder, someone has been doing that. Not literally.
Well, I was going to say, wow.
Other than
that is close.
We're watching Nate behind me. He's sitting on the couch. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so it's like a catty corner to the store, and I like that's all I'm like, this is weird. She's like giving me like a fetish that I didn't even have before. I didn't even want.
So
I'm
if you ever come across him, you're going to get his autograph?
I want to high five him with the left hand.
I was going to say.
Hello.
How long have you been doing this? Because you've been getting away with it.
Yeah, he's a champion, apparently.
He thought all that stuff on his windows just from the birds.
Yeah, I was like, wash your not, sir, wash your windows. Jesus, polish them. I don't know. I don't know how we got here, but anyway, that's my life at the second show. One of the many fun stories. I have so many. Probably none more appropriate than that one was.
Oh yeah, that one was fine. That one was fine.
Yeah, we kept it clean. I mean, people do that, right? Just not in front of everyone. I don't know.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, I'm sure there are radio shows out there that promote it.
Right.
Not in your own window.
I was going to say, hey, good thing this isn't on TV because, hey, right now, you don't see me under this table. You don't know what I'm doing.
Because we got that big window right there. So.
All right.
So what else is new with you, Doug? What else have you been doing comedy wise or just other?
I've just been doing what I can.
We've gone all the way to the other.
I know we've already went far right to come back this far. I did take a whiz. Is that cool to say whiz on the radio in your bathroom down the hall that says everybody can use this restroom? It's the first time I've actually went to the restroom and like a public bathroom that says everyone. There's a man with pants, a woman with a dress, and then a person with a half a dress and pants, and then a wheelchair, and it says everyone can use this bathroom. I'm like, and I don't like. I'm not like. I don't.
You were expecting more of a line.
I wanted to get in and get out because the last thing you ever want to do, or me anyway, is to be like pooping next to a woman peeing. I don't. Not because I'm like weird. I'm not because I'm afraid she's gonna like molest me, but just because that's gross.
You just wait.
Or if she's pooping. I don't know. I don't like girl poops. They're sick. Is that bad? I just don't. I don't like that.
You just wait till you go in there and there's a girl using the urinal next to you.
Yeah, there was an urinal. I was like, this feels like I was hurrying. I didn't even. I would like to say I washed my hands, but I did use Purell when I came out from my bag. I didn't not wash my hands because I didn't want to. It was just awkward.
I thought they might have at least redesigned them so they're universal, but you go in and one's clearly women's because I went in there once.
Is there a urinal in one of them and not in the other? Like,
yeah, the men's. Well,
because it used to be men's and women's.
Well, see, to me, then they should put. I think that they should put a stall. I mean, it should be all stalls. If you're going to make it, you could. I mean, it's weird. Like, I mean, I guess not. You're covered up. I mean, I don't know. I don't even like going to the bathroom when anybody's in the restroom. So I'd rather be in there by myself.
I was in the bathroom at Kroger's yesterday, and some guy was in a stall talking on his cell phone about our terrorism problem. I thought, man, this is a weird place for you to have that conversation.
Right. He was trying to be in secret. He didn't want to get caught. He was very concerned.
I went to one in a hospital, and there was a guy just obviously masturbating in the stall and was not quiet about it, and I got out of there very fast.
Well, at least it was in the stall. It wasn't like in the window on the second floor facing traffic.
Or standing on top of the stall looking out at the rest of the restroom.
He wasn't hanging over the edge going,
Oh, buddy. I worked with, for 10 years, I worked with developmentally disabled adults, which is what got me to the second shelf, like at a workshop setting where there's like restroom, obviously restrooms. So they come in and work, and we kind of observe them, supervise them. And there have been more than a few times where I've walked in a restroom and it's going down, and it's not like trying to hide it. It's at the urinal, not at the stall. It's just something you walk in, you're like, hey, bud, go in the bathroom, go in there. And they're like, okay. And then you go. And
do they walk
that's
in
something
there
that I love about them more than anything, like working with disabled people, like mentally disabled, is they don't give a damn when or where they're going to do certain things. It's just that's where I'm doing it. So like I envy that. Like, wow, this is like this would be great.
That kind of security.
Oh my God, do not care. You would not believe. I had some great stories about that. I'm sure that would maybe for another show.
Yeah, for another show. Well, the podcast. You can get on the podcast.
Oh God.
I think we've pushed a few envelopes already. So which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm all about it, but
Yeah.
All right, so let's back up all. You're saying back up off.
I don't think we
went straight. This is the word. Like
we haven't peaked yet. So
yeah,
let's
that's
keep
true.
going.
We've already masturbated in the window and in the restroom, hanging over the stall.
I haven't climaxed yet. I don't know about you.
Well, we'll let you finish.
I've not got to my. Okay, let's talk about our sponsors. Should we do that?
We don't have any now. We just lost them all.
I thought we'd talk about your shirt real quick if you want to get into that.
Yeah, I wore it, and I'm going to try to sell it on campus. I figured what a better place. It says I took college. I finally got I feel like a decent pitch. I did a show Wednesday with Ranson Carr. He headlined, and his dad, Catfish Carr, he plays the guitar and sings, and I guess he's open for B.B. King, if I'm not mistaken. I think cool. He's done some things. He's a really good musician. Dale Bloomquist, Rob Wilfong, another kid, Cody Ray, I want to say. I hope I didn't mess his name up. So it was a good show, and I finally came up with a decent pitch off the cuff because I've never had a good pitch for my shirt other than I took college. It's just the shirt. But I was just like, I got two things about me. I took a lot of college when I was younger. I never graduated. But that's okay because I don't have a shirt that says I graduated college. Right. I have a shirt that says I took college, and I pull it out and be like, and you too can have a shirt that says I took college. And like I sold 11 of them that night, and that's the most I've ever. Okay, I gave away 4, sold 7. So
okay, so
I got rid of 11.
You sold 11 just at an overall average discounted rate.
Yeah, I'm like, I've sold 7 already here. Just take them. Like, I'm not a very good
so excited.
I'm not very good at business, obviously.
You didn't take business cards.
I did not. So, yeah.
But no, Doug Morgan does have his shirts here, so be sure to come down and purchase a I Took College shirt.
Yep, I got about 6 or 8 of them. I'll be out of my back of my minivan, selling them in the visitors' parking lot.
I wouldn't recommend
Is that allowed?
School, but
very cool shirt though, man. I really
thanks.
like it.
Yeah,
it's got your website at the bottom too.
It's got my website that has been under construction for a year. It's basically my domain name, and I've really gotten after it as far as like it's under construction. Isn't that what you say when you start a website and it's not there yet? It's like.
Because there's a website.
It's got my name on it, The Doug Morgan Comedy. Yeah, GoDaddy keeps giving me an email. They're like, dude, you're about to lose your domain name if you don't make a website. I'm like, I guess it don't matter. Okay. And basically, that has my name in it in hopes that they'll go to my Facebook page and watch videos of my kid.
So how long have you been doing comedy for and working on your website?
Well, working on my website's been a year, which I haven't really been working on that. Right. I just bought the domain name. Real cool. Comedy I've done, it's been actually 6 years in April of this year, so
cool.
Still I still got a lot of work to do. Like I say, the contest was great to win. I don't feel like that validates me as a comedian. I obviously awesome to win $1,000. And
Well, yeah.
it's sold out. So as a comedian, you're not one of the performers. You can't really be in the showroom because there's no room. So you don't get a really good feel of how the other people did, except for looking through the door every now and again or through the window. I don't know if you've been to Wiley's and you can look in. So the one kid, his name was Matt Beebe, who I thought he was there the night.
The Friday night.
He was there that night and he did really well. And he and I and Carl, is he Chinese or Japanese? He's Chinese, dude, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Cool, funny, awesome, sweetheart, dude. Just love that dude. And those two went through, and I went through. And then the contest came around, and after it was said and done, I was like, I'd even call it. I said it'll be Wendy, Carl, and then I thought the Matt BB dude. He brought a bunch of people. I think he brought like 50 people. He brought a bunch, which. Wow. That's maybe he didn't. Maybe it wasn't 50, but it seemed like he did. He brought a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And he did well from what I seen. But you're not in there, so you don't know the full gist of it. So in my head, I'm thinking Wendy, Carl, and then this dude's gonna win. So Nate's on stage doing he does the Wendy, he does Carl, and then he's like, "Oh, let's talk about who won the contest or the contest before." Sorry. Every now and again it slips. I apologize. I am better than that. Can you 7-second that one?
I could. It's all right. I know.
But anyway,
we'll fix it in post.
Nate is getting ready to call the winner, and I go up and I pat the Matt Beebe kid on the back, like you deserved it. I was happy for him. I thought he won, and then he called my name, and now I felt like the biggest jerk, but he was so cool. I came back up. I came off. I was like, I genuinely thought you won, and hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I wasn't trying to be a jerk by saying good job. And he was super good dude. So, and I guess he's only been doing comedy for a short time, and. I mean, funny dude. I think he's got a lot of promise for sure. But I won, so too bad.
You won, so yeah.
So I was happy. I mean, it was really cool. It was cool. It was a fun time.
It was a good show. I didn't make it to the rest of them. I just made it to Friday nights because I just don't make it to as many as I'd like.
It's tough. It's a good contest. I hope it continues. I mean, I do think it's fun. Hopefully, it will continue to be strong.
Scotty Mays is another guy who hasn't been doing it very long, but is a really funny guy too. I don't know if you met him.
I've met him. I've seen him only a few times on stage, and I like him a lot. He's very eager to learn.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook that he might be taking a break. I know he also is dealing with addiction, and he's trying to overcome that, and has done that for a while. Which is that's one thing I really respect about him is he just started getting into it, and he was doing really well. And he knew well enough to take a break and take care of himself before putting anything ahead of that. Because you're never going to get ahead if you don't work on yourself first. So big ups to him for looking at the big picture. Yep, definitely. And like I say, comedy will be there for him. I mean, it's always going to be there for however it fits in your life. Like with me, like having a kid definitely put a little bit of a pause on some shows I can do. But my girlfriend's been very supportive of me doing it, even though she has 2 kids and our kid together 3. So that's hard on her when I'm not there, by herself. That's not easy.
That's the thing with kids. They can either add or subtract to what you're doing because they take up a lot of time, but they give you a lot of stuff to talk about.
Definitely.
I was talking to my little girl one day about what colors numbers would be if numbers were colors. Some random stupid conversation.
Were you guys smoking weed together?
Well,
I don't know what was.
I was going to say you can tell by the conversation that I do, but and she came up after we were done and she hugged me and she said, "Daddy, I love you. You're so much fun." And
That's
then
awesome.
she said, "I don't know why nobody likes you." And then she just ran off to play.
Yeah, they'll say they don't care. There's no filter. That's what's great about them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it was a lot of truth to that. It was like, well, now I know where everyone stands.
And Father Time likes you, don't he? Still, does he still call you late at night when you're trying to sleep? How's that?
Yep, creep
Where did he
around
go?
outside your windows every now and
Did he
then.
expire? What happened to that old buddy?
No,
huh?
he just posted that he wants Mickey Mouse for president today.
I don't blame him.
I keep tabs on the guy.
I take Mickey.
Somebody's got to. Somebody's got to keep an eye on him, make sure he's still good.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't heard from him lately, but hopefully he's doing good and staying very busy. It's
That's
and
good.
yeah,
I think he's got a worse problem than Scotty Mays or anybody that has addiction. I think he's the one that needs the treatment.
I was going to say, hopefully he's working on himself just as much as Scott.
Yeah, he's that old buddy. He tried his. He's like looking for. He's like, I'm just getting a manager somehow. I'm gonna call somebody every hour on the hour for 90 days straight until I get a damn manager.
He'd offered to let me be his manager, but I couldn't. I didn't have the
Couldn't
time.
manage it.
I didn't have the time to take on any more clients.
Oh yeah.
That's all I can do to manage me.
I wanted to be so bad, but my wife was not having it. I was going to jump all over that. That was going to be a lot of fun, but yeah, she nixed that one. Probably for the best, I'm sure.
Women know best, buddy. Sometimes. Once they did. One time.
All right. Do you have any shows coming up you want to pitch before we kick you out?
Before you get the heck on, now I have Jonathan Craig. Big weekend for him at Wiley's. They gave him an opportunity to headline the weekend. It'll be Friday, Saturday, 2 shows. Friday I think it's 7 and then 7:30. And I don't know. I probably really should have came more prepared on the times. But they have a website you can get on.
Yeah, Wiley'sComedy.com.
Bam.
Yep.
And then I'm going to be featuring for him. And then another person will be hosting that I came in ill-prepared. A kid I haven't met. He's out of Columbus. I should look that up real quick because I want to give the kid. I want all these people that are listening to know who.
Yeah, because I mentioned Jonathan Craig was going to be on there. I didn't know you were featuring for him. So
yeah, he had called me while I was mowing the grass at my girlfriend's house.
Okay.
Come on, man. I literally, this is you this time. I was literally, you're going there.
I was going to ask if you had a conversation about what colors numbers would be.
Right.
I heard a girl say yesterday that glitter is one of her favorite colors.
I'll be dang.
Makes perfect sense.
Never thought of that.
I wish I would have had that recorded.
Did you find out the name of the
David Gamble? He's
David
out of Columbus.
Gamble. I think
super
I've heard the
funny.
name.
One of my
I think
good
I've heard the
friends.
name.
One of my very best friends, and I just
Awesome.
now remembered his name. So
Okay.
that was supposed to be a joke. It didn't really. It's not hitting home like I was hoping that was gonna.
We were just letting it breathe.
Every now and then you got to do that.
Yeah, we get it. I want a contest, guys. You can't give me pity laughter. I mean, I've earned credits here. Don't I have like some?
Hey, you never know. I had
You want a
Don
can?
I had Don on the podcast once, and I couldn't remember his name at all.
That's true.
Don.
Your own.
Yeah.
How hard is it to remember Grandpunkle?
Yep, Grandpunkle. There you go.
I don't know.
Grandpunkle, is that your nickname or is that just given?
That is my Nate Washington official nickname,
I like it.
and that's Flannelin, but he's not wearing his flannel today.
Flannelin.
We're going to kick Doug out. He's going to be somewhere wandering around campus selling his "I Took College" shirt.
Get at me.
If you see some goofy guy walking around with a shirt that says "I took college," since I haven't put mine on yet, that'll probably be Doug. He'll give him some money. He'll give you a shirt.
Black sandals and socks. I'm wearing black sandals and socks and the shirt and khakis that have butter from Papa John's spilled on it.
Awesome. So it's very
So that's how you
specific. You'll know exactly. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here shortly without Doug, and we'll be back with Nate. So be sure to stay tuned. Nate Washington is in the studio with us.
Hello. How we doing? Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming and making it this time.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple visits for me back to the show. I had such a good time the first time I was here, and then the next 2 times I had to cancel, man. So I'm glad I was able to make it.
Yeah.
You were one of my favorite guests ever.
Well, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you know what really threw me? I was talking about you to my wife. And she was like,
that's just like your routine that you
Yeah.
and she said, isn't he the guy that we voted for in the comedy contest years ago? And I said, yep.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, you left impressions,
Stuff
man.
tying in, look at that. Great job. Great job,
You're the whole
Flannery.
reason he started comedy.
Nice. Yeah, man, that contest, it was a big deal to me at the time. competed in it twice. The first time I took third place behind Jay Snyder and Jeremy Johnson. After that, my whole focus for that entire year was going back and winning it. And like I had tunnel vision. Like that's the only thing I was focused on for that entire year. Like I'm like, well, man, if I got on the podium my first year in, there's no way I can't win it next year. So,
see, I should have been that dedicated. Because my first year doing the contest, I made the finals, which just shocked me because it was like only my third or fourth time on stage ever. So,
yeah, see, I mean, those
and I never entered again.
What are you thinking, Don? Come on, man. Come on, Grandpunkle.
You went from winning it to running it, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I kind of ended up running it by default when I took the job to take over the Sunday comic show along with Karen. The contest is just one of the responsibilities that come along with running that Sunday show because, I mean, we're dealing with pretty much all the open micers anyway. Mm-hmm. So they just the contest kind of falls in our lap or whatever. But, I mean, it was good. I mean, we had a good time. I think it ran smoothly. I had a lot of help. Cindy, shout out to Cindy Myers and Carmen Collada and my buddy Marcus for stepping up and helping me out that weekend because they made my job a ton easier because I had a lot of responsibility that weekend. So if it wasn't for them, I don't think it could have ran as smoothly as it did.
That's good.
So I appreciate every last one of you.
I bet you have to have a lot of stories from dealing with the open mics, though.
Oh,
I don't know how many you can get into, but there has to be a lot of them.
Well, you know, I think the one that stands out the most, I don't know if we talked about this before. I can't remember when it happened, but Puke.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
That's the one that stands out the most, but, you know, you see some crazy people come out, and I don't know, sometimes, like, people who aren't familiar with stand-up, I think they feel like, you know what, if I just put on a costume and go on stage, that's enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some people feel like, you know, like, if I just have a gimmick, I don't need to write anything.
Yeah, like a panda suit or something.
Yeah, panda suit. I don't know, if I ever saw a comic in a panda suit.
Yeah, that'd just be too much.
Hi, Mike.
Trying way too hard.
No, like that. Yeah, I would never, ever like under any circumstances. I mean, you know, somebody. There's been times where someone says, "Yeah, you should take that on the stage with you." I'm like, I'm not a prop comic.
Yeah, yeah. There's a big difference.
No, I'm not a prop comic. That's no disrespect to Carrot Top
and Gallagher
and Dunham
and Pandy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be who you are, though. I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, that's you know, I like to let my material speak for itself. I don't want to have, you know, a sock puppet talking for me. You know, I feel like I have something important to say in my jokes, so I don't want to take away from it with, you know, a gimmick.
Yeah, the thing with going up in character like that is you really have to own it and stick with it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where a lot of newer comics trying that or trying something along those lines don't quite hit it because they're
just themselves.
Yeah, they're just trying to be themselves. Yeah,
being the costume.
Yeah, and I don't have anything against that because I've actually been for the past 2 years now considering doing a set in character just to kind of flex a different muscle and to kind of step away from my normal material. I mean, I have the character written, like, you know, he has traits and a personality, and I just haven't done it yet, you know, but it's sitting there. It's on deck. And
I'll have to see that when it happens.
Yeah, I may surprise some people and just do it one day.
Is it a koala?
It is not a koala. I'll tell you this much. The gentleman's name is O.C. Dean.
Okay.
And it's actually one of my improv characters that I play around with. He has obsessive compulsive disorder, and
from the name.
And then, you know, I know that it wasn't that clever. It wasn't that clever. But yeah, so I'll try it maybe, you know, one day eventually. But right now, I just want to do. I want to talk about social issues and stuff that happens in my life, and
We can do
things that I feel like that can impact people with my comedy, you know,
Right.
because like, you know, we're telling jokes, but it doesn't mean that you can't take anything away from it after, you know,
Right.
after you see somebody perform. So,
Well, I saw you talking about somebody who does some of that in their stand up, and that's Vince Morris.
oh yeah.
Now, I saw that guy back when Joker's was open.
Yeah, me too. That was my first
And
time seeing him.
I thought that guy was amazing. I bought a CD afterwards, Open Latte. And
Oh, yeah.
He signed it. He even talked about me while he was up on stage, which was another reason that I liked him even more because I wasn't heckling. He just you know, said something to me. But really funny guy, man.
I was just with Vince this past Saturday night. Him and Jay Snyder, we were all together at the Laughing Derby down in Louisville. He is by far one of the strongest comics I've ever gotten to see live. You know, I go to see a lot of comedy shows live. I've seen Bernie Mac, you know, and Vince Morris is one of the most impressive comedians I've ever seen. Like, I was watching him Saturday, and I just had to get up and walk away for a minute just because, you know, when I watch a comic, I think I'm watching it totally different than everybody else. I'm not watching it for the joke. I'm watching it for the demeanor, for the presence, and
for what you can learn from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, there's been plenty of times like where I've seen Vince just walk away from the microphone, and he's still talking though. You know what I mean? Like, you know, he's making his voice carry throughout the club, and just seeing when you see it, it looks very professional and polished. You know what I mean? Because not everybody can do that. I had to, I started challenging myself. No matter how much time I'm performing, I started making myself leave the mic in the stand for at least 2 or 3 minutes during the set because I noticed that I started to use the microphone as kind of like a security blanket. And I was feeling like I had to have the microphone in my hand and walking around the stage in order to feel comfortable.
Right.
So, you know, it was one time just watching Vince just kind of stand there with his arms folded and destroy the room. You know, I was like, hey, you know, I gotta get past that. I gotta take that security blanket away. So, you know, I'm gradually, you know, getting more comfortable doing it. But yeah, I force myself now to just do at least 2 to 3 minutes of my set without touching the microphone at all because I want to break that habit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's something I've been thinking about doing too because I know I'm the same way. I move around a lot, and I know it's just nervous energy that adds absolutely nothing to any of the jokes.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I think I'm a little more animated when I'm on stage, so I can get away with having the mic in my hand. It was for my own personal like growth. I think like I need to force myself to just leave it where it is because I did notice it. I'm just like, okay, this is nerves. This is why I'm doing this. So I was able to recognize it. And I'm still working on changing that. I've been in the game 6 years too. I feel like there's a ton that I have to learn. You know, I don't know much. People come to me and I'm able to offer advice from things that I've learned in the time that I've been doing it and from game that was passed on to me from other comics. That, I don't feel like you should hoard it. You know, like so when you can share some knowledge with somebody, on any subject, I feel like you need to do it. I mean, you got to be a jerk to know something that can benefit somebody else and not tell them. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
But I kind of strayed away from Vince. But yeah, I say all that to say, I'm a huge fan of Vince Morris, and I've actually learned a lot from watching him.
He threw me the first time I saw him because when he was on stage, I didn't know how things worked yet. I mean, that was years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, they would bring in people locally. And when he came up and he was so funny to me, I just figured he was a nationally touring guy, which, I mean, he does go around. I mean, it's not like he's not. But then when I found out he was from Dayton too, I think that was another layer where I'm like, man, I love this guy.
Yeah, we got a lot of talented comics here in this city.
Absolutely.
We really do.
I try to throw them out there as much as I can because we definitely have. I've been impressed since I got started in it, and it's only been a couple years, but I've definitely been impressed with the group in general, the talent that we have, and plus there are a lot of really good people that are doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For the most part, I mean, there's a few. There's a few. But I tend to agree with you on that, and I try to be a part of that. I want to be, somebody that somebody new can go to and say, "Hey, I got a question about this," because I know what it was like. I know what it was like when I started, and I was, like 2 or 3 shows under my belt, and thinking I'm ready to move to LA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I can do this.
Yeah, I remember being like that, and you know, you have a good set early on. You know, it'll kind of give you this false sense, like, oh yeah, what did I wait for? You know what I mean? But
you don't realize about 20 of your friends are in the crowd cheering you on.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Really, really good cure for that for a new comic, the chapter.
Oh yeah. No, the chapter will humble you, man. Like any bar show, though, that's what it takes. Like if you do string, and this is for anybody that might be listening, like one of the newer guys. If you do happen to string a few good sets together, go do a bar show. Mm-hmm. Just pick a bar show and then try to do it there too.
Yep, and the 5-minute set you did at Wiley's, you'll be through in about 2.5 minutes.
Oh yeah, yep. And they won't hear any of it.
Right.
So you know, it's definitely a muscle that you got to flex. You got to do both. You got to do the clubs and you got to do those bars, because the bars prepare you for the clubs. The bars make you sharp.
Right.
You know, because anytime you got to sit and yell at people for 15 minutes, you know, when you get to the club, you're ready for any heckler, you know. So
Raymond Jackson handled the chapter really well because he had a table right up front.
Raymond's pro.
I haven't seen Raymond Jackson not handle anything well. I mean,
Raymond's a pro too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learned a lot working with him and watching him as well.
But he called them out, but he made it funny to where they weren't insulted, but he was making fun of them, and he got them to be quiet and just brought it all around for everybody. So people that are watching him, they're not like, man, all he's doing is talking to them, or like, God, he's angry. You know what I mean? He kept the tone the same. I mean, it was really impressive to watch how he just tied everything together and then just moved on like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, you got to have a good balance of that. Like when you're trying to deal with people yelling out, you know, like kind of tread a thin line, because you don't want the other people in the crowd to see how you're talking to this person, and then they switch sides. You know what I mean? And then
now they're against
now you're
you.
playing to a room, of people who
and nobody like
exactly. Yeah. So you got to kind of toe the line a little bit. I mean, me personally, it just depends on how I'm feeling. I'm way in the moment when I'm dealing with hecklers. Like, you know, sometimes I'll play around with them and try to find out what it is that they're trying to say and make them make fun of themselves. And then there's other times I go straight for the throat. Like, you know what, you got to shut up, because, you know, like it's my time right now. So, but I don't care. Like I think I'm likable enough to where I can get away with that, but not damn, I'm stuttering. Not all comics are able to do that. You know, you gotta.
One person I loved was Patrice O'Neal. That dude was one of the funniest guys ever. But I also heard when somebody would heckle him, he would just burn the room down. And just it would totally kill the mood, because he would just go off, and not in a good way. But I mean, he was a funny guy.
But that's the thing; he's a strong enough comic to where he could torch the place and then still bring him back and get him on his side, because he's that strong of a comic. And you know, it's just all about your skill level and experience when you're trying to deal with hecklers. Like,
I watched a video of Bill Burr. I think he took like 17 minutes, and he was just
the Philly
in a
video?
big theater. What's that?
Was that the Philly video?
Yeah.
That's what made him.
Yeah, that was that was brutal.
Him and Patrice were really good friends. And one of my favorite Patrice stories, because I'm a big wrestling fan, he had a job writing for the WWE.
Yeah, he did. I just found that out like about a week ago.
He decided he'd rather just stay at home and play video games than get high. He wasn't coming to work. Well, they called him up to let him know he was fired, and he said okay and just hung the phone up. And that really upset them, that he didn't care that he lost his job
with WWE.
So they called him back to say, hey, just want to let you know, one more time.
They fired him twice?
And he's like, I know, I don't care.
I
love that.
Yeah, that's how you should react when you get fired. Like, you know, they'll make them feel like they're at the upper hand, you know?
I would love it if my boss was so upset that I didn't care.
Yeah.
They had to let me know again.
They fired him twice. That's funny. I would have done that too, probably. I'd have been like, no, man, you don't understand. I said you can't come back. Yeah, I know. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, on the other side of the coin, man, that had to be upsetting. Like, dude, this is a dream job for so many people, and you don't care because you're playing Call of Duty or whatever. It was funny you brought up Bill Burr right after I brought up Patrice because they were best friends. So that was an awesome tie-in.
Yeah, Bill Burr is that's probably one of the best live comedy shows I've ever seen. I was out. I went with Chris Allen and Josh Myers. We drove to Indianapolis to check him out, and then I saw him again when he was at the Schuster Center. And just watching all those comics walk out looked like with just blank faces. You know what I mean? Because we were all just like shocked, like at how strong and how good he was. It was. That's why you have to support live comedy, man. Because Bill Burr is funny when you see him on the Tonight Show, or if you see him on Conan, or if you watch him on Netflix. But it's a totally different experience if you're watching him live, because it's almost mind altering. Like I said, we all had the same look on our faces. I remember watching just lines of comedians that I know locally walk out, just like, and the emotions went from, I think I need to quit to, all right, I got to throw away everything and start again, or, like, oh man, I'm so motivated now. And I was on the other end. I mean, I've never seen a comic to this day that was so good that it made me think I was going to quit or feel like I needed to quit.
Yeah, now I have, there was one I saw that actually was in a workshop. It was with Christopher Titus, and I pretty much wanted to throw out everything I had and just start from scratch. And I think I did throw out a lot that I had.
Well, yeah. Now I've seen sets where I felt like, okay, I got to tighten up a lot of my stuff. But like I said, I heard some comics saying like, oh man, I think I just need to quit. Never uttered those words. I have not once in the 6 years that I've been doing it ever considered quitting. Like, if I stopped doing comedy, I don't know what else I'd do.
See, I consider quitting before and after every show. And radio show. Like 6 o'clock. That's why we start late most of the times, because 6 o'clock's like, I quit.
No, don't quit, man.
And Jason starts throwing stuff at me, and that's okay, fine. And we go ahead on with the show. That's why I'm surprised last week with you not here, I actually did a show. I tried not to.
And full disclosure, I was actually on the show, just so everybody knows. Okay. I was the person who called in to give her job.
Oh, that was you?
That was me.
Did you call her?
Yeah.
I kind of figured it was a friend of hers or something. I had no idea that was you. That's hilarious.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
Well, we twisted your arm a little bit. So.
Well, thank you for that, because that added a lot to the show. That was awesome. I kind of figured, because she was texting over, I kind of figured she sent a text to a friend to have him call in. I had no idea. That's great.
Nice.
Got me.
Yeah, he got you. So, did you guys have questions for me? I know I wanted to come in and kind of recap the contest, but I didn't know Doug was going to be here. So
I just
well, you got a whole different side of it though, as far as running things.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's I guess it's a ton of work, man. Like you're trying to like round up herds of comics and keep them from running to go smoke every 5 minutes, and there's comics going out to their car to drink, and I'm like, hey, get in here, we got a meeting, so I had a different level of stress. Like I sympathize and empathize with everybody who was in the contest, because I know what they were going through the whole time being a past winner. Like I was a nervous wreck. Like Doug was saying, it's a sold out show. It's really hard to get in there and see anybody. But me, when I'm in a competition, I can't watch anybody. I don't want to watch somebody have a good set, and then I got to go up, with that in the back of my mind when I do mine. And it was funny because the year I won, I drew last. I had to go last, and to me that was the worst thing ever. But a lot of people said, "No, that was perfect for you to go last." But it meant me standing in the parking lot for 2 hours waiting on my turn or whatever. So
yeah, I was going to say there's just so much anticipation. And going last in a contest is rough.
Yeah, there are sometimes just in a regular show, there are times that I'd like to go a little bit late, and sometimes like I just don't. I want to get up and get it done.
Yeah, especially like on a show when there's going to be like 12 to 15 comedians.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I noticed about this year versus the year I won. Like the turnout of comics was really light. I was actually disappointed in the amount of comics because, like in 2012, we had 20 comics a show. And we had 2 shows Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. This year we only had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, just to kind of give you an idea, the drop off in the amount of comics, like, it's not to take anything away from Doug because he rocked it. He had a really strong set, but it just seems like to me there was not as many people competing, but because of that, I think we had some stronger comics around. It wasn't a lot of the fluff and filler that I had to deal with the year I won. So I guess there's like ups and downs.
Yeah, you didn't have a puke entering, and
no. So it was good for the people that competed, but for us running the show, it was just like, come on, where is everybody?
Yeah.
So
that can also be good too, because then you don't have as many crazy people to deal with.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. You want to have as much as possible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it sort of adds to the drama and the confusion and stuff like that too. Because a lot of times I'll try to do a takeover show or something, and just trying to organize everything and know when things are going to hit and people are coming in. It's not like I'm dealing with 20 people in the show, but
well, that's the neat thing about your takeover shows is we actually have a show that's structured when you do that. The rest of the time, it's nothing.
Just flying by the seat, huh?
Yeah, this is how I work on my improv, and my.
There you go. There you go. Yes, and.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, and one thing I've noticed is I'm not going to call out any names, but some comics just in my opinion, don't do well enough of promoting themselves and creating an audience. Yeah, I promote to death. As a matter of fact, I don't even have a date yet, but I'm about to promote the next stop, the 3 Men and Not a Baby Mama comedy tour, which is coming to Wiley's Comedy Joint in either late September or early October. That show features myself, Jesse Nutt, Raymond Jackson, Holly Lene, Lori Graves, Leslie Battle. And we did that show in Chillicothe at the Majestic Theater, sold about 450 tickets.
Wow.
So we're going to bring it here to Dayton early fall. Be on the lookout for that. I'll probably come back when we get closer to making it happen. We're actually going to do 2 shows here. We only did 1 in Chillicothe. We're going to do 2 shows here.
That'll be cool. Yeah.
I don't want to get too far off of promotion, but you know what my favorite drink is?
What is it?
Black Rifle Coffee. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Owned and operated by Special Forces vets. They make strong coffee for strong people.
Awesome. Awesome. I really thought I was listening to like NPR when you said that or something. That's cool.
My last sponsor actually advertised on NPR.
There you
That's
go.
where I got it.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah.
Also, let's see, what else? August 11th through August 14th, I'll be at the Dayton Funny Bone with Tony Rock. Stay tuned for that one, too. Come on out. I'll get tickets for you. Just let me know. You can find me on my Facebook page, Nate Washington Comedy. Or you can stalk me on Instagram at Thorny Badlands. Same way with Twitter, Thorny Badlands. Just follow me, and I'll keep you up to date with what's going on. And maybe make you laugh a little bit in the process. Or probably more than likely offend you.
Yeah, but that's all good, too.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. I always figure if people are too easily offended, they shouldn't be listening to comedy anyway.
Definitely shouldn't be listening to me.
That's what comedy's all about. It's a statement about things that can upset people.
If you're not offending people, you're doing something wrong.
Right. There you go.
I was just talking the other day to Mama Kate, who, going back to what you were talking about earlier, when you said something about talking to new people, that's one thing. I said you were coming on the show this week, and she said that she remembered you because she did the Wiley's contest, and you were the first person in the comedians group that actually talked to her. So, that sticks with people. So it's good that you do that.
Absolutely, man. I like I said, I remember when I first started all the questions that I had and all the things that I didn't know, because you're stepping into unfamiliar territory. You don't know anything about the business. You don't know anything about really, I was a fan of comedy my whole life, but, being a fan of comedy wasn't going to help me to get booked in a club somewhere. So, and shout out to Jesse Nutt for giving me my first paid gig ever. And my big brother Keith Bender out of Columbus, because those 2 guys were people who were like willing and open to just answer any questions that I had and offer little bits of feedback and information about, how to make a good joke, a stronger joke. And so I just took that with me. I knew how helpful I thought that was for me. And now when I see somebody who's new, whether they're older or younger than me, you know, if I see somebody new and I can reach back on some knowledge or wisdom that I was given and pass that on, I look for those opportunities. Like, I seek them out. I'm not, like I said, you can't stand around and know something that's going to help another person and then just choose not to tell them.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I feel like you can catch more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. One thing you were talking about with offending people with comedy, I was talking to Mama Kate about this, and I think we could all be the same color and we would still divide ourselves. And one thing that proves that is Pokemon Go. Because people either hate you if you play it, or all they want to do is play it and they love it. You know what I mean?
Man.
And you know what? If you hate it, then why are you worried about it?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't get it.
If you like, the thing is, you're not obligated to do it. So hey, let them have that. You know, that's not your thing. You know, you'd rather be at your Starbucks with your, you know, man bun or whatever.
Yeah, judging people for playing a game.
Yeah, like, leave them alone.
I think it's kind of cool that it's actually a video game that gets people off of their butts and out and about.
Yeah.
I've just never seen so many people mad that something has made so many other people happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
that's the weirdest source of anger.
That's just us as Americans, I think.
Yeah.
Like, we hate to see somebody having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, and enjoying themselves.
If we don't think we are.
Yeah, we hate that. Like, no, what are you doing? No, man. Let them people, let them live, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
Pokemon or the other people?
No, I don't like people that,
This is taking a turn now. He hates Pokemon.
I know, I don't have a problem with Pokemon. I don't.
What'd you bring that up for,
My
Jason?
problem is the people that just try to crap on it. Like, let them have that. Like, if it's not for you, it's just not for you, you know?
Yeah, because I don't plan on downloading it or playing it, but I don't care that a couple of million other people love it. What's the matter to me? I mean, at least they're having fun. If anything, that makes everything a little bit better that dude over there who was angry last week's having a good day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, you know, I did download it, but I downloaded it in response to a photograph somebody shared on Instagram. It was like, hey, if you play the game, why don't you drop lures at a local children's hospital or something to give the kids something to do? And I drive past Children's Medical Center twice a day. So I was like, you know what, damn, that's a good idea. Okay, I'll download it. And, you know, they just built a new playground over there. I said, you know, one day on my way home, I'll pull off to the side and give the kids something to find at the park. You know, like Nate Washington comedy is for the children, just like Wu-Tang Clan. So, you know, always keep that in mind. Nate Washington is for the kids.
And neither one of them are anything to mess with.
No, this is true. This is so true.
All right. Well, I think we're going to take a break and we're going to come back and wrap the show up. I want to thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Like I said, you got a couple shows coming up. Be happy to have you back when the other one comes around.
Yeah.
And we'll keep promoting you too.
Well, you know, let me mention this too, because we're actually working on a television show right now too.
Really?
I don't want to say too much, but yeah, it's we're going to kind of take advantage of the whole viral video type thing. So episodes are only going to be between like 2 and 3 minutes long, but they're all driving the story. We're going to release them once a week. And yeah, so look out for it. I mean, of course, there's some comedy involved because I'm on the team with like 2 or 3 other writers, and we're working with Indigo Life Media, who puts out amazing video. You know, we can actually put out a cinema quality movie today if we wanted to. Like, that's awesome. The type of people that we got working on this project. So stay tuned. It's called. I will tell you the name. It's called The Nudes. The NEWDS.
Okay.
And that's all I'll tell you about that for now.
Sounds interesting.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Thanks for coming on. It's good to have you. And we'll see you out in the comedy world from time to time.
Thank you.
I want to thank our guests again, Doug Morgan and Nate Washington. 2 really funny guys. You got to get out and check them out. Doug Morgan's going to be featuring for Jonathan Craig this weekend at Wiley's. And, of course, Nate Washington runs the Sunday comic show at Wiley's, and he's got some other shows coming up, too. So be sure to check those guys out. All right, well, I know you have things to plug, and I've said all I can possibly say.
Well, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to We Don't Have Cookies. We also have a Facebook page now. Thanks to Izzy Rock for convincing me to actually start a Facebook page because I really didn't want to, and he pushed me to do it. So got to thank him for that. And we got a show coming up July 29th. That's going to be a Friday. I think it's the first time I've ever released a show on a Friday. And that's going to be the 1-year anniversary show. I don't want to overhype it too much. It's going to be a lot of year in review stuff and clips from different people, but should be a good time. I'm really excited about it, putting some effort into that.
And you'll be having a lot of big announcements on your anniversary show too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I hope people
I'm
think
excited
they are.
for you, Jason. I'm excited for you.
I will announce one thing.
You sure? Are you sure you want to do this?
It's going to be the new show motto going into year number 2.
Okay.
We don't have cookies. It's good now.
Yeah, that might overhype it. Yeah. All right. Well, that's good stuff. I thank my co-host, Jason Marshall, for coming in. Missed you last week.
Thanks.
Good to have you back. I think that's all we have for tonight, and we're going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review. See you Monday.
You don't have to. You can holler.